Hi there, my name's Jonathan. I'm the wrecker driver. I'm looking for some 6x6 beams, and I heard, you being a sawmill man, maybe you could help me out a little bit. Yes, sir. What are you looking for? We can cut you some beams, straight ones, crooked ones, pine, oak. You just tell me what you need. You can cut them 4/4, 5/4, 6/4, but I don't know what 6 inches looks like. I guess what it is I need is 24/4 by 24/4 and about 6 foot long, maybe 7. Well, now half crooked is going to cost a little more than regular crooked and straight because it takes a little more work to do it like that, but we sell to Home Depot. All right then. All right folks, all kidding aside, we got all these herringbone grates cut, and I can spread them out a little bit or just leave that gap. It's not even going to be an issue. Where it's at, this wall, that's going to leave about an inch and a half gap, and it's not like, it's that big of a deal or important. So anyway, I think we're good to go with this. And what we're going to do now, you can see my concrete down in here. So I'm going to clean this concrete out of here. We'll find me a 4x4 to run across, and that 4x4 will come up and hit this ledge. And then I'm going to cut me a couple I'm going to get that sawmill guy to cut me a couple 6x6s, and I'm going to run them 6x6s on top of the 2x4, on top of 4x4, and down this ledge of concrete all the way to the end. Okay. Then we're going to come and pick this thing up on this end, and of course it's going to be swung in a little bit. We're going to set that on top of our boards, and then I'm going to run a snatch block. And we're going to run it right between these beams and that engine, and we're going to run it to the pine tree. Let me see if I can zoom in on the pine tree. That pine tree right there, because it's a straight shot, and I believe I can winch it from here. And what we're going to do is use the forklift to left and right, and then we're just going to slowly try to bring this thing over top. And then once I get it over top, I'm hoping I can figure out how the heck I'm going to get in there, because I want to get some machinery grout up on top of it, but I need to get the machinery grout on top of it before I set it down. And I got to get the machinery grout up on top of it after I get the boiler over it, because if I do it before, it's going to be too hard to do what I need it to do. So what I'm getting at is, chances are I'm going to climb through one of these firebox doors. I don't know. I might try to climb through one of these firebox doors, and if not, I'll have to get my son to do it, but I think I can get in there. And then spread this stuff as quick as I can, and then once it's spread, we'll see if we can drop that thing. So it's early in the morning, but it's already been a busy day. I've already gotten 2 wrecks this morning, so and I didn't film either one. One of them I probably should have, but I keep forgetting to take my camera. We're going to get this stuff straightened out to where, I film a little bit. I just, it's crazy when you get a rotation call, your mindset. I've picked up wrecks from just about every intersection and every straight stretch, in the county, and they're in both counties I do. So when the wreck comes in and they tell you, it's on, Highway 27 close to Grady Road, you've already got it in your idea of if it's going to be over an embankment, or if it's going to be, in a bad spot, a good spot, something where you're going to need extra cables, extra chains, because they don't give you a lot of information. So my mind is 100% on that. Usually if there's somebody with me riding, and we'll be on the way and they'll be talking about something, and I've still got my mind on the wrecker call, so I'm not very good conversation. So I'm totally focused on that. Once I get there, I get the job done, then then it's all fun and games. But up until then, I've got my mind on what I'm doing. Anyway, we're going to try our hardest to get this thing on here today. Then it's going to help us, and she's going to keep an eye out on things for us. So anyway, I'll be glad to see that thing up there. But like I said, it's going to be a job. But yeah, I could get my wife in there. I don't think she's going to want to get in the firebox. But of course, it is, I don't know anybody who's seen it, but this is the ground. Now this is all double wall, and the walls are 4 foot, I'm sorry, the walls are 4 inches wide, which our bricks are 4 inches wide. So to fit in perfect. And there we go. We'll just put a bunch of that machinery grout on Nana, and Nana can go in there and do it for us. I mean, she did get in the concrete the other day. At least one leg deep anyway. Alright, let me get at this and see if we can get her done. Alright folks, so we're getting ready to saw this. This is a rough log here. A lot of knots in it. Bunch of limbs. This is the upper part of one of these big pines. You see how nice and clean they are up until they get to the top, and then they got a bunch of limbs. So this is sort of the crappy part, but you know, we're cutting this for a record driver. We don't want to do too good of a job. So all we need is a 6x6, and we're just going to shoot for a 6x6. We only need it 10 foot long. Well, I need it 7, but I need to cut it about 10. So we're going to saw this end off, which is the big end. The reason I'm sawing it off is because it may be hard to tell on camera, but it's got a pretty big crook here, and it comes this way, and it's going to affect us pretty good. So if I can just get 10 foot of straight, even if it's got some knots in it, it's not going to really matter. So we're going to saw that. We're just going to saw it into a quick 6x6. I've got another old one. I don't want to use that nice log there because that'd be good for boards. So anyway, get at it. All right folks, we just did get one out of this first one, which is fine. That's plenty of what we need. Probably a little too good for Lowe's or Home Depot, but it's good enough for a record driver anyway. So that tree had a lot of bend in it, a lot more bend than what I could see or what you could see on camera. But we got what we needed, so we're going to get another one and we'll go from there. All right folks, here's the second one. It's a little nicer, a little bit straighter log. So now I'm going to find a 4x4, and I'm going to try to keep from having to cut one. I should have a landscape timber or something around here we can use. All right, okay folks, got both boards in place here, or beams I guess you could call it. So the plan is I'm going to go below these beams and up against the concrete pad, and we're going to run a 4x4 across. I'm going to bolt that in really good, and we're hoping very much so that that'll keep our boards from moving. So our boiler is on an axle and wheels, so I don't think there's going to be a lot of problem there about rolling. You know, it's going to take a little bit winch wise, but I think it'll be fine once we get it up. What we'll probably do, because we want this height, which is 6 and 6 really. I mean, that's 12 inches tall if you count the entire thickness of concrete. We don't want this frame to be rubbing on it really bad, so we're probably going to make something or do something for the outside tires. So once we get to a certain point, we're going to start ramping this thing up, probably pretty quick actually. So we can start it on like a 2x, and then once it gets on that one, then we can get it onto another 2x, and I'll just keep screwing 2x4s on it, or 2x6s, or you know, rough cut, probably our old form boards that we used, and just keep adding, and that way we can just keep getting higher and higher. That way, once by the time it gets up that way, you know, this frame is up high enough. And so this is going to be a little bit of an effort, but I don't think it's going to be that bad. We're just going to have to be really easy and slow to make sure we don't tear up our foundation. That's our whole goal here. Alright folks, we're fixing to start on this thing here. Got it picked up on one side of the forklift, the other side with a railroad jack. Forklift Smoky, we're using the old red Smoky one. If I hadn't put it in here so close, we could have got it with the other forklift. That's the way it goes. So, I got my wife winching because she can winch it easy, where the remote control is either going to be all the way or none. So it's a little bit smoother with somebody winching. So. Alright, let me get it. Okay folks, we're about halfway there. Didn't realize there was a couple pieces of metal welded on the bottom of our beams that pushed against our board, which wasn't good. Okay, so I sit there and told everybody I was going to put boards here to raise it up, and I didn't do it. And I hit one of my bricks on the corner, so we're going to be fixing that later. And looks like we're about ready now to start winching again. Got it all blocked up, got 8x8 under the wheel. All right folks, didn't do a lot of filming because I was having a lot of issues. This thing just didn't want to cooperate at all. And as you can see, it is on there, but not without damage. I was picking up the rear corner over there when I was talking about needing to get it raised up, and it slipped off the fork, and when it did, the whole boiler come down on that corner and broke my foundation. As you can see, 6-inch, cracked it and busted my brick because all the weight was right here on this corner, and it's cracked right there. So it's cracked from here, the foundation, all the way to there, and then this corner. So we're going to figure out what we're going to do about that. If I can support this foundation somehow, doing the bricks not a problem. I can go back and repair the bricks. I'm going to just take that section out and redo it. Not a big deal there. Just my foundation, I got to figure out what I'm going to do on it. That's my important part. But not a big deal. We got it jacked up, and it's sitting good on everything else. Just that part right there. So that's what we got to work on. Thought we was done with the brick, but I guess we're not, are we? I don't know if you can see in there or not, but she looks good, all but where I got it jacked up at for that. So, anyway, not a big deal. It happens sometimes. And, you know, it would have handled the weight fine, but it's not going to handle it when you start hammering it using however much weight this thing is to hammer with. Like I said, what I'm going to do on this foundation. Haven't decided yet. Have not decided yet if I'm going to, I don't know. I could get it up a little bit to close the crack up with the forklift, and then go under it and pour Sackcrete or something. I don't know. I don't know if there is a good way, to be honest with you. I mean, I might be better off to leave it where it's at because it's hammered down in there now, and just build up and not worry about it. You know, it's not that big of an issue. And I am, you know, going to eventually do the pillars on the sides anyway. So just got to figure out how I'm going to go about fixing this. All right, folks. So what I ended up doing, I did not raise the corner at all because I figured it was slammed down and in a good spot. So I just redone everything. I took all the bricks all the way past that crack and come this way past this crack, and just redone everything. Had to break, you know, a bunch of them out, but anyway, so it's done. The only thing I have to do now, I'm going to jack up all four corners. I'm going to bring this end's got to come back just a little bit. Matter of fact, about 1 inch at the most. That end probably needs to go forward about a 1/2 inch. And then once that is done, I'm going to put the machinery grout in between it, and then we're going to set it all down. So I'm going to have it on 4 jacks. I got it on 1 jack now. I got this corner jacked up because I didn't want to, you know, I didn't have any weight on it while it was, of course, while I was doing it. But anyway, no, when it's done, I think it'll be okay. You can see my patch job on the concrete. We'll see what it looks like. And I'm still going to build the legs down on this. I hadn't figured out how, and you know, how I'm going to go about it yet, but I'm going to do that, and then we'll do both sides, and that'll help support this thing too. But like I said, I mean, it really ain't going to need it. I literally dropped this thing. I mean, it dropped down onto this wall on this corner. My fork slid out from under when well, my own fault. You know, anything you do like this, if you know, you're not having accidents, you're screwing up. So I screwed up, but took care of the problem. Didn't take too long. So we got all that done. Big done stamp on it. We're going to figure out something. He just had a piece of board that was up here, aluminum I think, and he blocked it up here, and I need to take it down when he needed to. I don't know how much draft wind they're going to need to pull, but I might make some kind of a door that opens, swings or something. I don't know. We'll come up with something. Won't be any problem to put that in. And then, like I said, this side is done. We're sitting down, and I think we're about good to go. We'll have her done here shortly, and I'll take my time, you know, doing the rest of this, getting it moved around where I want it, and don't get in any kind of a rush so I can not mess anything else up, because I did a good job at messing it up. But as long as you all don't tell anybody, won't nobody know. All right, appreciate everybody watching, and until next time, maybe next time we'll do a hydro test. All right, bye.